The Pastor Who Hated Church. Follow Elvis Jung on his journey of redemption. Chapter 15. Elvis woke up in the hospital to discover he was alone. He tried to sit up, but the pain kept him in his bed. In the hall outside his room, he could hear people speaking, but couldn't make out what they were saying. A nurse entered the room to discover Elvis awake. She smiled and said, "Look who's joined us." She checked the monitor beside his bed and stepped outside. A man in a white lab coat entered. Elvis assumed he was a doctor. "How are you feeling?" he asked. "All right, I think," said Elvis. Another man entered with Kip. This man wore a long gray trench coat. He stepped to the foot of the bed. "I'd say you were doing a little less than all right. You were coughing up blood not too long ago." Elvis looked suspiciously at the trench coat. "Who are you?" he whispered to Kip.
"That's Rick Albright, our lawyer. He's helping us handle the police and the media," said Kip. "Can I talk to Elvis alone?"
Kip asked the lawyer. The doctor looked upset at the request. "Only for a minute. He has to rest," he said. The lawyer also looked put out. "We need to make sure he's ready to talk to the media." Kip watched as the two men left the room. "Kip, I'm really sorry about yesterday."
"Yesterday? You've been out for 3 days. But don't worry," said Kip.
"About the video shoot, I'm really sorry. I let things get out of hand. I should have known about the permits," said Elvis.
"Shh, relax, Elvis. It was amazing. You have no idea. Nick posted the whole thing online. It's gone viral. It's caused a firestorm. Worship is not a crime. It's fantastic. What made you think of saying that?"
"I didn't. Nick did."
"That's funny. Nick said you did. It doesn't matter. It's become like a battle cry. It's awesome. I can't tell you, we're going to have a field day with this. People from all over now know about the table. You can't buy this kind of publicity. I've been on 4 national news shows and people are dying to talk to you. We're going to put our church on the map. What a blessing this has turned out to be,"
said Kip. His face was absolutely beaming. He looked at the confusion on Elvis's face.
"Don't worry, we've got a lawyer. He's a civil rights specialist. He's going to go after the police for the brutality. They're going to pay for what they did to you."
"But we broke the law," said Elvis. He started to cough. It hurt so much that tears started to stream from his eyes.
"They don't have the right to do what they did. Look at you. You nearly died,"
said Kip. "I did?"
"Well, it could have happened. All we need to do is tell the media how much you're suffering."
Elvis felt himself blush. "Kip, what if I don't want to?"
"What are you talking about? This is important. We do this and we're going to be a church to be reckoned with. People will check us out. This is huge."
"I don't feel comfortable doing this, going after the police and selling out to the media like that. I mean, is this what ministry's supposed to be? Really?"
"The way I see it, this whole thing was a gift from God. None of this had to happen, but it did. Don't you think everything comes from God? This comes from God, Elvis. Think of it this way. If God gives us a gift, how foolish are we if we don't accept it?"
Elvis rested his head on his pillow. He looked out the window. All he could see were clouds in the sky. At least there were no more camera flashes.
"You need your rest. I'll go. Chris and Nick and Sparrow and even Val have been itching to visit. I'll let them know you'd like visitors, okay? In the meantime, get better. God's doing things. We need to make sure we're ready for the ride," said Kip just before he slipped out the door.
Sparrow was the first person to visit Elvis in the hospital. She poked her head in the door later that afternoon.
"Elvis, hello,"
said Sparrow. "Still here," answered Elvis.
"Are you feeling better?"
"Yeah, I want to go home."
"Soon. Just take it easy and get better."
"Easy for you to say. You're not the one trapped in the most boring place on earth. Not to mention that this place is full of sick people." Sparrow smiled. It somehow made Elvis feel better. "So, how are things going in the real world?" asked Elvis. Sparrow flopped on the side of his bed.
Really busy. With the media circus and all, it's hard to get anything else done.
I don't follow. Kip was all excited about it. Has its luster worn off?
No, Kip's in his glory. I think that's the problem. It's all about the national exposure. He's become a celebrity. Did you know he's already planning on writing a book?
About what?
Building the modern church,
said Sparrow. Elvis grimaced. I don't get it.
Me neither. Kip says it's the kind of thing that'll build the kind of church we always wanted,
said Sparrow.
She drifted off into thought.
What?
I wonder what we're really trying to accomplish with all this. I got so excited writing songs and playing music that I never really thought about the big picture. I don't know what I expected, but I can't say it's this.
Well, from what I'm told, Kip is a big picture guy. I'm sure he knows what he's doing.
You really think so? It looks more like flying by the seat of his pants. Think about it. We're making a video when everything falls apart. You get beaten up, the video gets confiscated, Nick's gone off the deep end, said Sparrow.
The video's been confiscated? Why?
Kip's lawyer says it's evidence. Kip hopes the media frenzy will build interest in the video, so when it's released, it'll be huge.
That sounds awesome, said Elvis. He lied. He didn't think it was awesome at all. He still felt so ashamed. You'll hit the big time. How cool is that?
I don't know. Maybe I just don't believe it. It's just that, well, it seems like all I'm doing is milking a tragedy for all it's worth. I don't know, she said as she fidgeted with her clothing. How pathetic am I? I come here to try and cheer you up and I'm talking about myself. I'm sorry.
Hey, no. I'm glad you're here. Really, it's great to have some human contact. And you're saving me from having to watch As the Stomach Turns. Sparrow laughed.
Thanks.
No problem. That's what I'm here for, said Elvis.
Elvis, can I ask you a question?
Absolutely.
Do you think our church is a real church?
Elvis was stunned for a moment. It wasn't at all what he expected. What do you mean?
All this stuff we do, we don't look anything like church. I don't know if I've ever told you this, but I'm a pastor's kid. I grew up in the church,
said Sparrow. That's cool, said Elvis.
Not really. I hated it. It's kind of like living in a fishbowl. You can't escape it. People are always talking about you. They can be really mean. 2 old ladies once yelled at me for wearing jeans to church. They actually yelled at me.
Said something about being disrespectful and being a bad example to their grandkids, said Sparrow. She looked out the window, but her thoughts carried her much farther away.
When I was 16, I remember asking myself if I really wanted to do this. I remember thinking, I was either going to stay here because I follow Jesus, or I'd walk away. Just like that. When I left for college, I looked for a church that didn't look at all like that one. Church shouldn't be so mean. When I found the table, I was blown away. It's so, dynamic. People look and sound like me. You know? I can be myself here.
Elvis placed his hand on her arm and smiled. Some people think that's a good thing. Like Kip. I kind of lean that way myself.
Okay, but we do all this stuff like videos and online podcasts and stuff. Is that church?
Elvis raised his eyebrows. Well, we're creative.
Is that enough? Is it enough that I write songs? Does God want me to do more?
That's something only you can answer. I think it's cool that you do that stuff.
I just wonder if this is what God wants me to do. Am I doing God's will? From what I hear from Kip, I should be more successful. I should already have songs being sung all over the country. I should be recording and stuff, said Sparrow. Know what I think? I think the first thing we learn about God in the Bible, in Genesis, is that He's creative. I think the image of God is that of creator. God is creative. Everything He does is creative. That's one of the things that makes humans unique from everything else in creation. When we're creative, it's the closest thing we come to the image of God. For Christians, that means every time we create, say music, it's for God's glory. It's a powerful thing.
Sparrow looked at Elvis with her bright blue eyes.
I've never thought about that before.
It's one of the things I like about the table. There's a lot of creativity there. If anything, we lack focus. It's kind of like creativity for creativity's sake," said Elvis. "So, what does that say about my music?" "If anything, it's one of the things we do right. At least you're doing something for God's glory. It's more than I can say about this whole lawsuit thing. It kind of seems more destructive than creative." "You don't see the point of doing that?" "Not really. Then again, I'm just a small piece of the puzzle," said Elvis. "That's not true. You're very important." "Thanks, but this is getting painful," said Elvis. "Oh, is the pain medication wearing off?" "No, this conversation's getting too sappy. It's painful." Sparrow stood defiantly with her hands on her hips. "Typical man, not in touch with your feelings. Since when is nausea a feeling?" Sparrow laughed. "Thanks," she said. "For what?" "Perspective. Not only did you make me feel better about my music, even in your misery, you encouraged me. At least someone isn't miserable." "Aw, what can I do to help you feel better?" said Sparrow. She sat on the bed and rubbed his shoulders. "Know what? That feels pretty good." At that moment, Chris walked into the room. Elvis and Sparrow stopped dead. "What's going on?" she asked with a forced smile. "Sparrow's helping me recover." "It looks like she's doing a good job." "Well, I don't want to hinder the healing process," said Chris. "It's okay. I need to go now anyway," said Sparrow. "Why don't both of you stay?" "I really wouldn't mind the extra company," said Elvis. Chris didn't stay around long enough to hear him finish. Sparrow and Elvis looked at each other and shared a confused look. "Do you know what just happened here?" asked Elvis. "Men don't get these things. She's obviously jealous," said Sparrow. "Of what?" Sparrow hit him on the shoulder. "Ow! Hey, you're supposed to be helping me get better," complained Elvis. "Explain it to me." "Heal first. When you can stand the abuse, then I'll explain it to you," she said with a coy smile. Thank you for listening to The Pastor Who Hated Church, written by Timothy G.A. Cooper, narrated by Greg Cooper. Tune in next week to hear the next chapter in Elvis Jung's Tale of Redemption.